Welcome to this new video on Gran Turismo 07, where we will continue testing the new engine swaps added with update 1.69. Today, I'm bringing you a special Renault episode, because indeed, at least 4 swaps have been added with this update for Renault cars. And above all, for cars. A little bit, how should I say, a bit of a joke. Like the Twingo, the Kangoo, that kind of thing. All these cars have received new swaps and we're going to test them today, knowing that, well, the Twingo swap, I'll show it to you again quickly, because it's kind of the theme of the video, but it's a swap. And it's a car we've already tested on video last week, so we're not going to go into too much detail about it. But for your information, you can actually swap the Twingo with an engine from Honda. I think it's the K24A, a 4-cylinder that puts out more than 600 horsepower. So we end up with a car that makes 600 horsepower and weighs 800 kilos, and is overall a pretty good little car. Because through corners in the game, the Twingo is actually excellent. The only minor issue with this swap is that it's still front-wheel drive. So obviously the power is going through the front wheels. It's not always easy for it to handle so much horsepower with such small wheels, but it works. In the list of new swappable cars, with this update, we'll be able to install a new engine in the Renault 4L, which I haven't driven in a long time. So, it'll be a good opportunity to take it out of the garage for a bit. And since we're going to put an engine in it, here too, the engine from the Civic engine, so the same engine as in the Twingo, which should give us about 600 horsepower for an even lighter car. So, I think it's going to be great. Nonsense. Let's take our mostly swapped, improved 4L car. It seems to be going well. Actually, never mind. No, it's actually super slippery. It held up well at 120 km/h and didn't feel too slippery. But now we're burning out over 200. I think it's going to be a pain to handle. We'll see. Anyway, the car has 604 horsepower and weighs 730 kilos, so it's even lighter than the Twingo. And in terms of performance index, it's a bit lower. It's at 607, while the Twingo was at 620. Keep in mind, we still have quite a few issues to deal with. The same problem as the Twingo, for starters. Even worse, with front-wheel drive, lots of power, and thinner front tires, it'll just burn out all the way to 300 km/h. And on top of that, this car, unlike the Twingo, doesn't have any aero parts to boost the front downforce of the car. The only thing we can add is a spoiler, so that's for the rear downforce of the vehicle. The rear stays planted on the ground. I think it's fine. Then again, I've never gone extremely fast with the 4L, but it seems okay. But the front, it's true that it would have been cool to have something to keep it on the ground. I think it would have toned that down a bit. The way the car just burns out, the car's slippery nature, really. But we can't. That's it. And since, on top of that, the game doesn't really like it. When you put aero at the back and not at the front, it tends to penalize us a bit. In terms of performance rating, so here, we're going to have a car that, overall, is going to be pretty weird to handle. It accelerates well. You can feel that if it really had all the grip, it would probably have some pretty crazy acceleration. Probably better than some of the supercars we're currently racing against. But right now, it's unable to regain grip. Even though we really have proper tires, we've got the kit, we've got everything we need, but it's still very difficult for it. I'll still show you the acceleration on the straight. It's a shame, really, because it's true that this car is actually pretty good otherwise. In corners, it brakes pretty well, even if it's not the biggest monster in the game for that. But on longer tracks, it does well in corners. But yeah, it's a shame. It's going to be impossible for it to handle this power. So yeah, this is kind of a troll swap too. Anyway, it's definitely a troll swap. I mean, who would put a 600 horsepower engine in a 4L thinking it's going to be competitive? I don't think anyone would. But the thing is, the VTEC sound and cockpit view is actually pretty funny. So here, you see, it's impossible to regain grip. We're going like 240 and the car still has its wheels in the air. We had to wait until 330 km/h to fully regain grip. And honestly, I'm not really sure it actually came back 100% naturally at 330 km/h. It's a shame because I think it could get much more, in my opinion. With the Nitro, it starts to lose grip again. You need to go over 330 to get grip, in my opinion. With the Nitro and the SPI, this car can reach 400, but you'll need such perfect conditions that it's going to be impossible to reproduce them. But still, 330. There's also a new swap that's been added to the Renault Kangoo, and I have to admit, I'm really looking forward to testing that too. It's the same engine, once again, the K24A, so the same engine we had on the Twingo and on the 4L. Maybe here it'll be more efficient for some reason. I already think being more modern than the 4L will help a lot. And also, this vehicle is much longer than the Twingo, so maybe the handling will be a bit more manageable as well. Here we go then with our swapped Kangoo. Oh well, listen, it seems to be going well. Oh yeah, it's nothing like the Twingo or the 4L in terms of acceleration. Here, all the horsepower is coming through well, and we were already going pretty fast. Wow, this really handles like a beast. I forgot about that. The Kangoo is really a race car in the game. Damn, it seems to be working pretty well, but you still have to be a bit careful. Actually, I think that's true for the first 2 or 3 gears. When the turbo kicks in, you can still lose a bit of grip, but it's nothing like the Twingo or the 4L we drove before. It handles really well. It's funny, I feel like I'm driving something spacious and sleek, but a bit less, obviously, a bit less intense. It has a similar driving style, loses grip a bit but only slightly, and regains it in 3rd gear. Honestly, I was expecting it to be, let's say, more. For it to be more. Maybe the most troll swap of the update, the Kangoo, swapped with the real Darty. But in the end, compared to a lot of other swaps in this update, it's not that bad. So let's see how it's gonna turn out. Yeah, it slips a little, but it's really nothing compared to what we had before. It's easy to handle, right? You regain grip quickly. With the 4L before, we still wouldn't have found grip yet, but now it works. But actually, I think this might be one of the most serious upgrade swaps we've had here. Actually, the problem with the Kangoo is that its shape makes it a lot harder for it to reach high speeds. Really. But on the other hand, it also grips, so we'll see. I think 400 would be doable with the slipstream here, if we had it. I think we can get it, right? Ah yes, it's almost certain with the slipstream. Maybe a gearbox that's just a bit shorter. We're going to hit 400. We'll start over. We'll try to optimize the aerodynamics. We'll get there. We'll reach 400. Come on, yes. Yeah, 410. Even without too much trouble, I was telling you that 420 with the slipstream is totally doable. Thanks to Russ, he's actually useful for once. To finish, there's still a swap that's less of a troll. We'll see how it goes. I haven't tested it, so if it's wrong, that's really disappointing. But actually, there is still a new swap on a Renault that's already sporty to begin with, which I think is going to be pretty interesting. Performance-wise, it's going to be the one added to the Renault Mégane RS, which already has 500 horsepower stock before the swap, so it's already a pretty decent car. But above all, I remember that we tested this one and the Mégane RS on video. In this game, it's just like in real life. It's a car that still has a very good chassis. And now, we're going to be able to install the engine from the Volkswagen GTI Group 3 in it. That engine has 2 advantages. First, in terms of power, we're going to be way above what we've had so far with the Mégane. But also, it's an engine. I think it's a V6. That's among the lightest engines in the game. And in the end, as you saw with the new engine, we're almost at the same weight as we were with the previous engine, even though that one was much smaller. That's right, we have 800 horsepower for 1,080 kilos, and we're at 735 pp, so that's pretty good. And generally, those pp figures are comparable to some hypercars. Well, it looks pretty good. Oh, wow. Well, for a front-wheel drive, it still handles really well with high power. It's been a while since I drove this car in the game. Well, it's actually pretty efficient. It spins its tires a little bit, but barely. Really. It's a bit like with the Kangoo, but with a lot more power. Since the chassis is very good in GRAN TURISMO 7. Well, so we don't really have much trouble competing with supercars. More powerful than that, it's cool to drive. Plus, the V6 sound coming from this car is pretty nice too. It's kind of like a road-going Mégane Trophy, actually. Well, Mégane Trophy, that's not the name. It's Mégane V6. Actually, in the game, there's a Mégane from this generation, which is the race version of the Mégane. With a Renault V6, well, here it's kind of like that, but in a road version. And it's not a Renault V6, but a Volkswagen V6, or a VR6. Maybe, I don't know, but, well, it's normally a 6-cylinder. It's really cool to drive, actually, and I think it's my favorite swap from update 1.69 in the end, because, well, it's definitely funny to put 600 horsepower in a Kangoo or a Twingo, or even to be able to replace the LFA's engine with a 10 million V12 engine. But it doesn't necessarily make cars that are always pleasant to drive, or that are always, well, really usable. And this one, well, you see it spins its tires a little bit, but barely. It's a car that's still very good in corners, and fun to drive. So, still, quite a few swaps added in this 1.69 update. I think we've covered them all now. We've tested all of them in the different videos I've made these past few days about the game. So, As always, don't hesitate to leave a like on this video to help with the ranking. It's always appreciated. Of course, you can subscribe for my upcoming videos on the channel, and don't hesitate to follow me on Twitch for the next live streams. The link to my Twitch channel will be in a pinned comment, so come follow, and also use your Prime if you want to support my channel for free. And also, feel free to use my instant gaming link, which will be below the video, allowing you to buy your games for less. It helps support my channel. See you soon for a new video. Ciao.